Well, you got to give us a little hint as to when we might expect.
Well,
Is it going to be
I don't
like
know how many more hints I
snowing?
can
Are we going to
give
be
you.
hearing holiday tunes? Come on, something. Give us something.
Um, I think it's gonna come right for the holidays. I mean, literally, if anybody's asking Santa for a great storage gift, this will be it. This
Okay. You-
everybody line up. Santa is coming. This
People in the
is this
chat room
is
are saying we're getting hungry listening to this conversation.
and it will be shipped. It will be shipped with a chocolate lava cake.
There
No,
you have
this,
it. You just heard from the man himself. If you buy a StarWind Sand Enterprise server, he will ship you a chocolate lava cake. You heard that from the man.
well,
The
maybe to
orders
the
are already
first.
coming in right now.
Well, maybe to the first 10 people, maybe to the first 10 people, maybe we gotta really
Maybe.
think about it. Who sign up and come to this preview right here. I just send it to you, Bruce.
Okay, well, that's
This,
fair.
this,
That's fair. That is absolutely fair enough. That is exciting news. Storage is just this huge problem out there for everybody because data is exploding. I mean, we're going from terabytes to, eventually it'll be exabytes that we're going to have to cope with. We just generate lots and lots of this stuff, and how we deal and we cope with that. So I took the time of writing down some questions, which I did not share with you in advance. You can attest to this, Zorian.
oh boy, here we go again. Sure thing you did not.
Yes, I did not share these with you, but I think you'll be all right with these. So the first question, what do you see as the number one reason that a smaller company, and when I say smaller, under 100 users or so, would install your SAN product? What do you think the number one reason would be?
Well, I think you always make it difficult because you corner me into just answering with one silver bullet, which is really hard because there are multiple reasons. But I really think that if I were to say just one main reason,
Hmm.
and Bruce, I will say it's hard to say that because there's really more. But I think one reason is you need shared storage for clustering.
Okay.
You must have block level SAN or shared storage for server clustering. So if, like we were discussing a little bit earlier, if you need to cluster your SQL Server or your Hyper-V or VMware, you really need shared storage on your network for that. Without shared storage, you're not going to be able to cluster your servers.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, that if you want to cluster your SQL servers, what have you, you're going to need to have a SAN in place first.
You have to. And you know what? One way to summarize that is to say high data and application availability. High availability. I mean, clustering is done for the purpose of having higher application and data availability.
Right.
That's really the goal here.
Yeah.
So that is the number one reason. But I will truly say there's multiple others. I mean, for instance, VMware, you can't use VMware features such as VMware HA, vMotion, storage vMotion, DRS, VCB. You can't use those features without shared storage, without, a
Okay.
SAN.
All right. Okay. That
So there's
does
all these
make
other reasons that people use our product for.
right. Okay, fair enough. And now that brings me to the next question: was that there's going to be some prerequisites that you should have in place in your organization when you start thinking about, okay, now's the time for shared storage. We need to have we use the term ducks in a row, but we need to have certain things lined up. Can you give us just a brief overview of what prerequisites you would recommend before you implement a StarWind SAN server?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I would say that this this is a pretty complex question because in reality, a lot of the IT professionals and storage professionals and system administrators who need a SAN, they need to do a survey, right? They can either do it themselves, or they can hire a consultant, a VAR, for instance, like yourself, to advise them on what it is that they actually need. They need to figure out how much storage they will need, how much they're willing to spend, what they need it for, how they're going to need to scale. You know, as you know, in storage, it's acceptable that the price is per capacity, right? Per storage
Mm-hmm.
capacity. So if you start buying systems without doing that preliminary survey, you're going to end up finding yourselves 9 months down the road in need of more capacity. And when you buy some of this hardware from the big kind of legacy traditional vendors, you're going to spend a real large amount of your budget adding on to the initial system, to the original system that you get from them. So you can start out with, you know, with 2 terabytes, and all of a sudden you realize 9 months later that you need 3 or 4 or 5 terabytes, and you need
Right.
it for more applications. So you need to really figure out how much you need, because that dictates how much you're going to be able to spend immediately and then as a follow-on. And you also need to know what it is you need shared storage for. Some people may just not realize it, but what they really need is a NAS, a network attached storage.
Right.
So you may just need a NAS because all a NAS does is it allows you to dump files on it, right? It's a file-based storage.
Yep.
You just need to back things up to it. You can just get a really inexpensive NAS and you know, 1 or 2 terabytes, and you just back up a bunch of things to it. But NAS doesn't work as block level storage, so you can't really do server clustering utilizing a NAS. So if you need to do high availability, if you need to do clustering to increase the application availability for your databases or for VMware or for Hyper-V, SharePoint, you name it, you're going to need a SAN. So once you have all of these basics figured out, and this may not take a lot of time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got to obviously test how much your data has been growing, what you're forecasting the growth to be. And once you have that, you basically need, you know, for StarWind, it's very simple. You just need to get an industry standard Intel-based or AMD x86 or 64-bit server that can run Windows Server on it. Windows Server 2003 or Windows Server 2008 R2, you name it. Just whatever it is that you need, you will have to get a standard Intel-based box. And then once you have that, it could be something like a Rolls-Royce of servers, like an HP ProLiant or one of the Dell machines or IBM machines, or you can even get a white box.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to load it up with storage that you've decided that you need. So let's say you decided you need 8 terabytes of storage for the next 12 months. Just make sure the server can fit that capacity. If you want super high performance, you're going to need to go with SAS drives, or even, well, I don't know if I would recommend SSD right now, but you know, most people probably don't need that.
That's some real money there.
That is some real money there. I mean, so, you know, you could do it. We have a few customers that are going in that direction.
Right.
You're going to spend an arm and a leg on, you know, on 70 something gigs of you know, of storage per hard drive, and there's only so many hard drives that can fit into an enclosure. In any case, you can go with high performance SAS drives or SATA drives that are certainly less expensive. You put in your 8 terabytes and you got yourself a box on top of which you install StarWind, and 30 minutes later that box is transmuted into a fully functional SAN appliance, and you're ready to go. And if you have two same boxes, and you have StarWind installed on both of those boxes, you can mirror, you can do data mirroring in the same server room. You can put a second box in a different city, in a different metropolitan area, and replicate it remotely over the WAN. And that's pretty, you know, that was kind of making a short story long, if you will.
No, that's, because we have a lot, I mean, obviously we have a lot of people that watch our show that are either consultants themselves, or they advise other companies about IT work, or we've got some business folks in here that watch us.